They called him a monster, a tyrant, a madman who fiddled while Rome burned. But here's what they don't tell you about Nero and Rome's most brutal emperors. These men didn't just destroy, they built an empire that would define Western civilization for 2,000 years. Picture this. The year is 64 AD. Rome is engulfed in flames. 3 of the city's 14 districts are completely destroyed. Hundreds are dead. And Emperor Nero? He's not fiddling. That's a myth. He's already planning the Domus Aurea, the Golden House, a palace so magnificent it would span 2 hills with revolving dining tables and walls that piped perfume into the rooms. This wasn't just excess. This was a statement of absolute power. But Nero wasn't alone in this paradox of brutality and brilliance. Look at the pattern. Emperor Vespasian ordered the Colosseum built on the exact spot where Nero's controversial palace once stood. A gesture to win over the people, yes, but also an 80,000-seat engineering marvel that still stands today. The same emperor who ruthlessly consolidated power gave Rome one of history's most iconic monuments. Here's where it gets fascinating. These tyrants, Nero, Domitian, even the infamous Caligula, they understood something fundamental about power. You can't just rule through fear. You need spectacle. You need legacy. Domitian was called paranoid, cruel, a ruthless autocrat who purged the Senate. But he was also the first emperor to spend most of his reign touring the provinces, strengthening the empire's reach. He was a competent administrator who expanded Roman influence while his enemies wrote him into history as a monster. The ancient sources, written mostly by hostile senators who despised these emperors, painted them as depraved psychopaths. But modern historians are uncovering a different truth. Nero's early reign saw fiscal reforms, successful diplomacy with Parthia, and genuine patronage of the arts. His policy of eliminating political opponents, no different from Augustus, who's celebrated as Rome's greatest emperor and who ordered all of Mark Antony's heirs killed. Consider Emperor Hadrian, who built the Pantheon, a temple with the world's largest unreinforced concrete dome, completed in 126 AD. That oculus at the top, flooding the interior with divine light? Pure architectural genius that still baffles engineers today. Or the baths of Caracalla, built by an emperor known for his cruelty. Yet these baths could host 1,600 people at once across 27 acres, featuring sophisticated plumbing that showcased Rome's commitment to public health. This is the paradox. Rome's most feared leaders were often its most transformative. They murdered family members, bankrupted treasuries, and ruled with iron fists. But they also understood that empires aren't built on fear alone. They're built on concrete and marble, on aqueducts and amphitheaters, on monuments that scream Rome is eternal to every generation that follows. The Colosseum wasn't just an arena. It was crowd control engineering for 80,000 people. The road networks weren't just paths. They were the arteries of an empire, built by military engineers who could construct a bridge over the Rhine in 10 days. These tyrants weaponized architecture itself. So, were they monsters or visionaries? The answer is both. They existed in that terrifying space where absolute power meets absolute ambition. They killed without hesitation, but they also built without limits. And 2,000 years later, we're still walking through their monuments, still using their engineering principles, still grappling with the legacy of men who understood that tyranny and greatness aren't opposites. They're 2 sides of the same imperial coin. That's the uncomfortable truth about Rome's tyrant emperors. They didn't just shape an empire. They shaped the very definition of what it means to leave a mark on history, whether written in blood or carved in stone.